I'm Dr. Rachel Headley. I own the Rose Group International with my business partner Meg Mankey, and we fix culture problems in organizations. So if you have tension in your company, if you don't like your boss, if you have a hard time relating to each other, then we come in and sort that out. I'm actually a PhD scientist, and I was the operational science officer of the Landsat satellite mission, which is a NASA USGS mission. And I started out in the science, and then I moved into the leadership of the mission. And the reason I got into culture work is because I was leading a big team that's mostly engineers, and I love them, but they don't necessarily communicate well with other humans and scientists, and so I became the translator between these worlds. And that got me, in 2013 I was part of a Landsat launch, a satellite launch, and I was standing on the top of the rocket the day before launch, and I kind of figured that was the best it was going to get. So I decided I was kind of ready for a change. So when I went out and did consulting work, I actually did a lot of science consulting work at first, but I kind of was more interested in the leadership stuff. So I started working in that world, and then I brought Meg, my business partner, in because she's an HR expert, and I'm the research scientist, and I love people, but I don't really get how they tick a lot because I have that sort of engineer problem where I not really like other humans. So together we've created this, basically it's a framework and approach that actually gets cool culture implemented. My biggest mistake was that I thought that owning my own company would be much more straightforward than it was. So I had to let go of how things were going to happen. So I believe I was going to have a 7-figure company. I believed it was going to be possible, and I wanted to be able to know how to get there every step of the way. And what happens when you own your own business is opportunities come from places that you have no idea where they're going to come from. And so you have to be ready for the opportunities to come. You have to keep your eyes open. It's not nearly as, a lot of us want to know, okay, I do this, and then this, and then this, and then magic happens. And that's really not it at all. It's much more opaque. And so you have to be ready to not be so focused on where you think you should go, but be aware of other opportunities as they come. The first challenge you have is paying your rent, right? And that's the terrifying part. And I joke all the time that every day I was an entrepreneur, when I first started, I had these moments like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. I have none of those moments anymore. And so the challenge is really around money, I would say. So when you first start out, it's your perception of money and worrying about money and where it's coming from. And it's almost like most of us are in a fight with money all the time. Money is something that prevents us from doing the things we want to do. And at some point, as you move forward in your business, you hit the place where money becomes a logic puzzle. You have enough of it, you have a team, you understand how it works, and it becomes a thing where, well, I think we can make $4 million, but I think if we rearrange these things, maybe we can make 5. It becomes much less about who you are and what you can do than it is about, it's an opportunity, money is opportunity, wealth is opportunity. It took me a long time as a woman to say, I want to be wealthy, because that's a strange dichotomy. And it's really tough to know how to think about wealth as a woman. And so it just took me a long time, about 3 years, to say I'm going to be wealthy and being okay with that. And I think that's the biggest change for me between starting and where I am now. The very best companies are always looking for great talent, and they're always looking to keep those talent. And if you're great as an employee, you're going to get your pick of whatever company you want to work for. And so when I go in and work for an organization, my argument for them is if you create a culture that people love and they understand and they want to be a part of, they're going to stay with you for a long time.